In the dimly lit streets of Seattle, two small figures huddled beneath a dripping awning as rain poured mercilessly from the dark sky. Alex, a 12-year-old boy, wrapped his thin jacket tighter around his 8-year-old sister Sarah, who shivered against him, her face pale and feverish in the harsh glow of streetlights. They had walked 20 blocks in the rain, hoping the Pine Street shelter would take them in, but the words still echoed in their minds. "Sorry, we're at capacity tonight. No room for two more." Alex clutched the only possession that mattered to them, a worn DVD case of The Matrix, the last movie they had watched with their parents before the accident 3 months ago. The sight of Keanu Reeves on the cover brought tears to his eyes, remembering how their father would quote every line, making their mother laugh until she cried. Now, those memories felt like they belonged to different children who had a home, warmth, and parents who loved them. Sarah's violent coughing snapped Alex back to their harsh reality. Her small body trembled with each breath, and Alex knew he had to do something fast. But what no one could have predicted was how their desperate situation would lead to an encounter that would change not only their lives, but also touch the heart of one of Hollywood's most beloved actors. In the coming hours, a chance meeting in an unexpected place would set in motion events that would leave everyone involved questioning what it truly means to be family. Through rain-soaked streets and past countless closed doors, Alex and Sarah's journey would lead them to discover that sometimes the most extraordinary acts of kindness come from the most unexpected sources, and that hope can be found even in the darkest of nights. Alex stood at the entrance of a rundown convenience store, watching his sister Sarah attempt to warm her hands against a small heating vent. 3 months had passed since the night their parents' car spun off the icy mountain road, but the pain felt as fresh as yesterday. He remembered the police officers at their door, the pitying looks, and the crushing realization that their world had shattered beyond repair. At 12 years old, Alex had become more than a brother. He had become Sarah's protector, her only constant in a world that seemed determined to forget them. Their Aunt Janet had taken them in initially, but her boyfriend made it clear they weren't welcome. The cramped one-bedroom apartment couldn't accommodate 2 extra mouths to feed, he'd said. After 2 weeks of tension and whispered arguments late at night, Alex had made the decision to leave, taking Sarah with him. He couldn't bear to see his little sister cry herself to sleep every night, hearing the harsh words through thin walls. Sarah, only 8 years old, carried their father's old backpack everywhere. Inside, alongside a change of clothes and their remaining snacks, lay their most precious possession, their father's collection of Keanu Reeves movies. Every Sunday had been movie night in their family, with The Matrix being their father's absolute favorite. He would recite entire scenes, making their mother roll her eyes fondly, while Sarah giggled at his attempts to dodge imaginary bullets in slow motion. Life on the streets had taught them harsh lessons quickly. Alex learned which convenience stores would let them use the bathroom without buying anything, which library security guards wouldn't chase them away, and most importantly, how to make Sarah feel safe even when he was terrified himself. They spent their days in the public library, where Alex helped Sarah with her schoolwork using borrowed textbooks, determined that his sister wouldn't fall behind just because they had no home. The nights were the hardest. They would sneak into apartment building laundry rooms for warmth, or find corners in the back of 24-hour fast food restaurants until someone noticed them. Alex had become an expert at making $1 stretch into a meal for 2, splitting everything carefully so Sarah always got the bigger portion. He watched his sister grow thinner, her once bright eyes becoming shadowed with a weariness no child should know. Today had been particularly difficult. Sarah's cough, which had started as a minor irritation, had grown worse. The sound rattled in her chest, and her forehead burned with fever. Alex had spent their last $5 on children's cough medicine, but it didn't seem to be helping. He tried to remember their mother's home remedies, honey and warm water, elevation while sleeping, but these things seemed impossible without a home, without resources. Their father had always told them that family meant never giving up on each other. Alex repeated these words like a mantra every night as he held his sleeping sister, wondering how much longer they could survive like this. He had considered going to social services, but the fear of being separated kept him from taking that step. They had heard too many stories about siblings being split up in the system, and he had promised their parents he would always protect Sarah. Each morning, they would visit different cafes and restaurants just before closing time, hoping for leftover food that would otherwise be thrown away. Some kind souls would slip them extra bread or day-old pastries, while others shooed them away with threats to call the police. Alex had learned to read people quickly, to know which faces held kindness and which would only bring more pain. The one bright spot in their days came from their weekly ritual of visiting the electronics store window, where they could watch pieces of movies playing on the display TVs. Sarah's face would light up whenever Keanu Reeves appeared on screen, and for those brief moments, Alex could see glimpses of his little sister as she used to be, full of joy and wonder, untouched by tragedy. These moments made him more determined than ever to find a way out of their situation, to give Sarah the life their parents would have wanted for them. As Alex watched Sarah doze fitfully against the store window, he knew they were running out of time. Winter was approaching, and they couldn't survive many more nights in the cold. Their clothes were wearing thin, and Sarah's cough was getting worse. Something had to change, but he had no idea what to do next. The weight of responsibility pressed down on his young shoulders as he stood guard over his sleeping sister, praying for a miracle they desperately needed. The rain had started falling again as Alex led Sarah down the crowded street toward Pine Street Shelter. They had heard from other homeless kids that this shelter sometimes took in minors without asking too many questions. Sarah's cough had grown worse, each breath wheezing in her chest as she clutched Alex's hand. The neon sign of the shelter glowed like a beacon through the misty rain, and Alex felt his heart lift slightly at the sight. Inside, the fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as they approached the intake desk. The woman behind it looked tired, her eyes barely meeting theirs as she shook her head. "No room," she said flatly. They were already over capacity. Alex tried to explain about Sarah's fever, about how they had nowhere else to go, but the woman's expression remained unchanged. "Rules were rules," she repeated, suggesting they try another shelter across town. Back on the street, Sarah's tears mixed with the rain as Alex tried to think. The other shelter was miles away, and Sarah could barely walk. He led them to an abandoned building they had spotted earlier, helping Sarah climb through a broken window. The space was cold and damp, but at least it kept off the rain. Alex arranged their few belongings to make a makeshift bed for Sarah, wrapping her in their shared blanket. As Sarah drifted into an uneasy sleep, Alex pulled out their worn copy of The Matrix, running his fingers over Keanu's face on the cover. Their father had always said Keanu was different from other actors, that he was known for his kindness, for helping people without wanting attention. Alex remembered reading stories online about Keanu's secret donations to children's hospitals, about how he gave away much of his movie earnings to help others. A headline on a discarded newspaper caught his eye: Keanu Reeves filming new movie in downtown Seattle. Alex's heart started racing as he read the article. The movie was shooting just a few blocks away. He looked at Sarah, her face flushed with fever, and made a decision. It was crazy, probably impossible, but they had run out of options. Tomorrow, he would find a way to reach Keanu Reeves. The night passed slowly, with Alex keeping vigil over his sister. He couldn't help but think about their parents, wondering what they would do in this situation. Their mother had always said that sometimes you had to be brave enough to ask for help. Their father had taught them that the worst anyone could say was no, and they had already heard that word too many times to count. Sarah's condition worsened throughout the night. Her skin burned with fever, and her breathing became more labored. Alex used their last bottle of water to try to cool her forehead, fighting back tears of frustration and fear. As dawn approached, he knew they couldn't wait any longer. They needed help, and if there was even a slight chance that Keanu Reeves was as kind as everyone said, Alex had to try. The rising sun painted the sky in shades of pink and gold as Alex gently woke Sarah. She was weaker than the day before, barely able to stand without his support. He told her his plan, watching as a small spark of hope lit up her tired eyes. She had always loved their father's Keanu Reeves movie collection, finding comfort in the familiar faces and stories. Now, Alex prayed that their connection to these films would somehow lead them to real help. Together, they made their way through the awakening city, following the directions in the newspaper article. Alex could feel Sarah trembling with each step, her small hand burning hot in his. The streets became more crowded as they approached the filming location, with crew members bustling about and security guards standing at makeshift barriers. Alex's heart sank as he realized how impossible it would be to get close enough to speak to anyone important. Through the next several hours, Alex and Sarah watched the movie set from a distance, trying to catch any glimpse of Keanu Reeves. They huddled in an alley across the street, Sarah leaning heavily against her brother as her fever continued to rise. Alex shared their last granola bar with her, trying to ignore his own gnawing hunger. The security guards had already chased him away twice, but Alex refused to give up. As the day wore on, crew members began packing up equipment. Alex's heart sank. They were running out of time. Sarah's coughing had gotten worse, each breath a painful wheeze that made his own chest hurt in sympathy. He knew they needed to find help soon, but every door seemed closed to them. The shelters were full. They had no money for medicine, and now their last desperate hope seemed to be slipping away. Just as Alex was about to admit defeat, he noticed a dark figure walking down the alley toward them. The man wore a baseball cap pulled low over his face, his shoulders hunched as if trying to avoid attention. Something about his walk seemed familiar. Alex had watched enough movies to recognize that distinctive gait. His heart nearly stopped when he realized who it was. Without thinking, Alex called out, his voice cracking with desperation. Keanu Reeves stopped, turning toward them with surprise. For a moment, nobody moved. Then Sarah started coughing, the sound echoing off the alley walls. Keanu's expression changed from wariness to concern as he approached them slowly, kneeling down to their level. The next few minutes passed in a blur as Alex poured out their story. Their parents' accident, the aunt who couldn't keep them, the shelters that turned them away, and Sarah's worsening illness. He pulled out their worn Matrix DVD, explaining how their father had loved Keanu's movies, how watching them together had been their family tradition. Sarah clutched the DVD case with trembling hands as tears rolled down her fever-flushed cheeks. Keanu listened intently, his face growing more concerned as he heard their story. When he reached out to feel Sarah's forehead, his expression darkened. Without hesitation, he pulled out his phone and made a call. Within minutes, his personal security team arrived, and Sarah was being carefully lifted into a warm car. Alex sat beside her in the back seat, hardly daring to believe this was real, as they drove toward the nearest hospital. The emergency room staff rushed to help as soon as they arrived, with Keanu using his influence to ensure immediate care. Sarah was quickly diagnosed with severe pneumonia, requiring immediate treatment. Alex refused to leave her side, holding her hand as the doctors started her on antibiotics and oxygen. Throughout it all, Keanu remained with them, his quiet presence a steady comfort in the chaos. As Sarah finally rested comfortably, Keanu spoke with Alex in the hallway. His voice was gentle as he asked about their situation, their needs, their dreams. Alex found himself opening up completely, sharing fears he hadn't even admitted to himself. He talked about trying to be strong for Sarah, about missing their parents so much it physically hurt, about the terror of watching his sister grow sicker while feeling powerless to help. The actor listened without interruption, his eyes filled with understanding and compassion. When Alex finished speaking, Keanu shared something of his own past, his experiences with loss, his understanding of grief, and the importance of having someone to lean on during difficult times. As they talked, Alex began to feel something he hadn't experienced in months. Hope. Hours passed, and social services arrived at the hospital. Alex tensed, expecting the worst, but Keanu had already been working behind the scenes. He had made arrangements, pulling strings and making calls to ensure the siblings would stay together. The actor had secured them a place in a reputable group home, one known for keeping families together and providing excellent care. But that was just the beginning of his help. Through the quiet hospital hallways late that night, Keanu had long conversations with social workers and hospital administrators. He wasn't just offering a temporary solution. He was committed to changing these children's lives permanently. The actor set up a trust fund to cover Sarah's medical expenses and both children's education through college. He arranged for them to have regular counseling sessions to help process their grief and trauma. More than just financial support, Keanu ensured they would have a stable environment to heal and grow. The group home he chose was more like a family setting, with dedicated caretakers who specialized in helping children cope with loss. The facility had an excellent educational program, allowing both siblings to catch up on the schooling they had missed. Most importantly, they would have their own room together, maintaining their close bond while building new connections with other children who understood their experiences. Sarah's recovery was slow but steady. The doctors kept her in the hospital for a week, treating not just the pneumonia but also addressing the malnutrition and other health issues that had developed during their time on the streets. Throughout her stay, Keanu made sure she had books, art supplies, and even a small TV where she could watch their favorite movies. Alex noticed how his sister's eyes lit up whenever Keanu visited, bringing her small gifts or simply sitting with them to share stories. The actor's kindness extended beyond immediate needs. He listened when Alex talked about their parents, encouraging both children to keep their memories alive. When he learned that their father had been a martial arts enthusiast who loved The Matrix, Keanu arranged for Alex to take karate classes once he was settled in their new home. For Sarah, who shared their mother's love of art, he ensured she would have access to art therapy and supplies. As Sarah grew stronger, Keanu helped them gather what few possessions they had from their hiding places around the city. He personally went with them to their aunt's apartment, where they were able to collect family photos and small mementos they had left behind. Their aunt, seeing the change in their circumstances, broke down in tears, apologizing for not being able to help more. Keanu's presence helped bridge the gap, ensuring the children would maintain contact with their only remaining family member. The transition to their new home wasn't without challenges. Both children had nightmares and moments of fear that it would all disappear. But the staff was patient and understanding, trained to help children work through such trauma. Alex slowly learned that he didn't have to carry all the responsibility anymore, that it was okay to be a child again. Sarah began to smile more, her laughter returning as she made friends with other children at the home. Keanu's involvement didn't end with setting up their new life. He made sure to stay connected, scheduling regular video calls and visits when he was in town. He became a constant presence in their lives, not as a celebrity, but as a trusted friend who genuinely cared about their well-being. His influence helped them navigate the complex emotions of growing up without their parents, while showing them that family could come in many forms. 1 year after their chance encounter in the alley, Alex and Sarah stood in front of their new home, watching as Keanu arrived for one of his regular visits. Sarah, now healthy and vibrant, ran to greet him with a hug, while Alex followed more slowly, a small smile on his face. The actor had kept every promise he made that rainy night. But more than that, he had shown them that sometimes the darkest moments in life could lead to unexpected light. Inside, Sarah proudly showed Keanu her latest art project, a family tree that included not just their parents and aunt, but also the staff at their home, their new friends, and Keanu himself. Alex shared news about his recent karate tournament and his improving grades in school. The conversation flowed easily, filled with the comfortable familiarity of people who had become family through choice rather than blood. As they sat together watching The Matrix, their tradition now transformed into a celebration rather than a reminder of loss. Alex realized how far they had come. Their parents would always be missed, but their love had led them to this moment, to this unexpected family that had formed in the wake of tragedy. Sarah leaned against him, safe and healthy, while Keanu sat nearby, his quiet presence a reminder that sometimes help comes in the most unexpected ways. The story of Alex and Sarah spread quietly through Hollywood, not through press releases or media coverage, but through the genuine impact of one person's compassion. In their new home, the siblings continued to flourish. Sarah's artistic talents blossomed under the guidance of her art therapist, and her paintings began filling the walls of their room. Each piece told a story, some of loss and pain, but increasingly of hope and healing. Alex found his own path to healing through martial arts, channeling his protective instincts into discipline and focus. His instructor noted how quickly he picked up the philosophical aspects of training, applying them to his daily life. The burden of being solely responsible for his sister's survival gradually lifted, allowing him to rediscover his own childhood dreams. Their new family expanded beyond the walls of their group home. Regular dinners with their aunt became a cherished routine, the earlier tensions dissolved by time and understanding. The other children in the home became like siblings, creating a support network of shared experiences and mutual understanding. The staff watched with pride as both children grew more confident, their past trauma transforming into resilience. Keanu's influence in their lives remained constant but unobtrusive. He never sought attention for his actions, preferring to maintain their privacy. His visits became treasured occasions, marked by simple pleasures, watching movies, sharing meals, or just talking about their day. He brought stability without trying to replace their parents, understanding that his role was to add to their family rather than substitute what was lost. On the anniversary of their parents' passing, Keanu helped them organize a memorial service. It was a small, private affair where they could properly honor their parents' memory. Sarah created a beautiful artwork for the occasion, while Alex read a letter he had written about their journey. The ceremony helped them find closure, while celebrating the new life they had built. The trust fund Keanu established ensured their future education was secure. Alex began thinking about college, his grades steadily improving as he discovered his passion for engineering. Sarah's artistic talents drew attention from her teachers, who began discussing special programs to nurture her abilities. Their potential, once threatened by circumstance, now had the chance to fully develop. As they sat together on a quiet evening, watching the sunset from their home's garden, Sarah turned to her brother and asked, "Do you think Mom and Dad would be proud of us?" Alex looked at his sister, healthy and happy, and thought about their journey. "Yes," he replied, "they would be so proud. And they would be grateful, just like we are, for the angels who help when we need them most." The story of Alex and Sarah reminds us that sometimes the darkest moments in life can lead us to unexpected light. Their journey from that rainy alley to a place of hope and healing shows how one person's compassion can ripple outward, creating lasting change. In the end, their story wasn't just about survival. It was about finding family in unexpected places and learning that love can heal even the deepest wounds. Through their experience, they learned that family isn't always defined by blood, but by the people who choose to stand beside you when you need them most. Their story continues to inspire others, not through grand gestures or public acclaim, but through the quiet power of genuine kindness and the reminder that sometimes help comes from the most unexpected sources. As Keanu often reminded them, quoting from their favorite movie, "Everything that has a beginning has an end." But for Alex and Sarah, their chance encounter in that rainy alley wasn't an ending. It was just the beginning of a new chapter in their story, one filled with hope, healing, and the knowledge that they would never have to face the world alone again. Today, Alex is a successful engineering student at the University of Washington, his tuition and expenses fully covered by the trust fund Keanu established. His professors often comment on his exceptional problem-solving skills, not knowing they were forged during months of protecting his sister on the streets. In his spare time, he volunteers at youth shelters, sharing his story with other children facing similar struggles. Sarah, now entering high school, has become an accomplished young artist. Her work has been featured in several student exhibitions, often depicting themes of hope and transformation. The scared, sick little girl from the alley has blossomed into a confident teenager who uses her art to help other children process their trauma. She still keeps that worn Matrix DVD case on her desk, a reminder of where their journey began. Keanu's involvement in their lives has evolved but never diminished. He attends their important milestones, graduations, art shows, tournaments, quietly sitting in the audience like any other proud family member. His influence extends beyond the material support he provides. He has become a mentor, teaching them about kindness, humility, and the importance of helping others when you have the means to do so. The group home where they first found stability has become a model for others, partly due to Keanu's continued support and advocacy. More siblings are able to stay together. More children receive the therapy and education they need, and more stories of healing emerge from its walls. Alex and Sarah often visit, sharing their experiences with new arrivals and offering hope to those who feel lost. Their aunt has become an integral part of their support system. Her initial inability to help transformed into a determination to be present in their lives. Sunday dinners at her apartment are now a cherished tradition, where they share stories about their parents and create new memories together. The guilt and tension of the past has been replaced by understanding and forgiveness. Looking back on that rainy night in the alley, Alex sometimes marvels at how close they came to giving up hope. One chance encounter, one person's willingness to stop and listen, changed the trajectory of their lives forever. But more than that, it taught them that sometimes the most profound acts of kindness come without fanfare or recognition. They come from a genuine desire to help others in need. Sarah keeps a journal where she writes letters to their parents, sharing her thoughts and achievements. In one recent entry she wrote, "Mom and Dad, I wish you could see us now. We miss you every day, but we're okay. We learned that family isn't just about who you're born to. It's about who chooses to love you, who stays when times are tough, and who helps you believe in yourself again." Their story has inspired others in quiet ways. The social workers who help them now share their experience with other children in the system, showing that hope can be found in the darkest moments. The doctors who treated Sarah have established a program to provide care for homeless youth. Even their school friends have learned valuable lessons about resilience and the power of kindness. As another year passes, Alex and Sarah continue to grow, heal, and thrive. Their journey from that desperate night in the alley to their current life serves as a testament to the transformative power of compassion. They carry with them not just the memory of their parents' love, but also the knowledge that sometimes angels appear in unexpected forms, even as a kind-hearted actor walking down a rainy alley in Seattle. Their story reminds us that while we cannot change the past, acts of kindness can reshape the future. Through their experience, countless others have learned that hope never truly dies, that family can be found in unexpected places, and that sometimes the greatest gifts come not from what we receive, but from what we give to others in their moment of need. The legacy of Alex and Sarah's story continues to unfold in unexpected ways. Each year on the anniversary of that rainy night, they organize a small gathering at their group home. The event brings together social workers, medical staff, volunteers, and other children who have found their way to safety. They share a meal, watch The Matrix together, and remember how a single act of kindness can spark a chain reaction of positive change. The trust fund Keanu established has grown to support other initiatives. Working with the actor, Alex helped create a scholarship program for homeless youth pursuing higher education. The program, quietly operating without publicity, has already helped dozens of students access college education. Sarah's art therapy experiences inspired a new creative healing program at local shelters, where children can express their trauma and hopes through various art forms. Their Aunt Janet has become an advocate for foster families, sharing her own story of regret and redemption. Her experience taught her that sometimes people need support to be able to help others. Now she works with organizations that provide resources to families willing to take in relatives' children, preventing other kids from ending up on the streets. The hospital where Sarah recovered has implemented new protocols for treating homeless youth, ensuring that no child is turned away due to lack of resources. The doctors who treated her pneumonia now volunteer their time at free clinics, remembering how close they came to losing her to a treatable illness. Alex's engineering professors discovered his background when he proposed a final year project, designing affordable, portable heating systems for homeless shelters. His personal experience brought a unique perspective to the challenge, and his prototype is now being tested in shelters across Seattle. Sarah's art has evolved to tell not just her own story, but the stories of other children who have faced similar challenges. Her paintings hang in the waiting rooms of social service offices and children's hospitals, offering hope to others in their darkest moments. One of her pieces, depicting two small figures in the rain finding light, has become a symbol of resilience for the local homeless youth community. Keanu's influence remains subtle but profound. He never sought recognition for his actions, preferring to let Alex and Sarah's success speak for itself. His regular visits continue, now including long discussions about their future plans and how they can help others. He often reminds them that the greatest gift they can give is to pass on the kindness they received. As Alex prepares for graduation and Sarah plans for college, they remain grounded in the lessons their journey taught them. Their story, shared carefully and selectively, has become a beacon of hope for others facing seemingly insurmountable odds. They've learned that sometimes the most powerful changes start with one person stopping to help, one heart opening to another's pain, one hand reaching out in the darkness. Their parents' memory lives on not just in photographs and stories, but in the values they instilled, the importance of family, the strength of love, and the power of never giving up. Alex and Sarah have honored that legacy by creating their own definition of family, one that encompasses all those who helped them survive and thrive. The Worn Matrix DVD case still sits on Sarah's desk, a reminder of where their journey began and how far they've come. But now it represents more than just memories of their parents. It symbolizes the extraordinary chain of events that prove sometimes the most powerful stories aren't about superheroes in movies, but about real people choosing to make a difference in someone else's life. Their bond with Keanu has deepened into something beyond celebrity and fans. He became a mentor, teaching them about the importance of privacy, humility, and using influence responsibly. During his visits, they discuss philosophy, art, and ways to help others without seeking recognition. These conversations shape their understanding of what it means to create meaningful change in the world. The siblings have become passionate advocates for homeless youth, though they do it quietly and without drawing attention to their own story. Alex established a mentoring program at his university, connecting engineering students with kids from difficult backgrounds to spark interest in STEM fields. Sarah works with art therapists to develop new ways of helping traumatized children express their feelings through creativity. Their group home has evolved into a model of innovative care, incorporating many of the lessons learned from their experience. The staff now includes trauma specialists, educational tutors, and creative arts therapists. Most importantly, they maintain a family-like atmosphere where siblings can stay together and children can heal at their own pace. The impact of their journey extends beyond Seattle. Social workers from other cities visit to study their program's success, learning how combining practical support with emotional care can transform lives. The medical community has also taken notice, with several hospitals implementing similar protocols for treating homeless youth. On quiet evenings, when they gather for dinner with Keanu during his visits, the conversation often turns to their parents. They share stories, laugh about old memories, and acknowledge both the pain of loss and the joy of healing. These moments remind them that while they can't change the past, they can honor it by creating a better future for others. Their story continues to unfold, not as a fairy tale of rescue, but as a testament to human connection and the ripple effects of compassion. The scared children from that rainy alley have grown into confident young adults who understand that sometimes the greatest strength lies in asking for help, and the greatest healing comes from helping others. As Sarah prepares for college and Alex considers graduate school, they remain committed to their mission of quiet change. Their experience taught them that transformative moments don't always announce themselves with fanfare, Sometimes they arrive in the form of a kind stranger in an alley, a worn movie case, or the simple act of someone choosing to stop and listen when the world seems darkest. The end of their story becomes its beginning, as each life they touch creates new possibilities for hope and healing. Through their journey, they learn that family isn't defined by blood or circumstance, but by the connections we forge in our darkest moments and the love that helps us find our way back to light. In their new life, Alex and Sarah have discovered that healing doesn't happen in a straight line. There are still nights when the memories of their time on the streets resurface, moments when the loss of their parents feels overwhelming. But they've learned to face these challenges together, supported by the unique family they've built. The trust fund Keanu established has grown into a foundation, carefully managed to ensure it can help other children in similar situations. Its mission, shaped by Alex and Sarah's experiences, focuses on keeping siblings together, providing comprehensive medical care, and supporting education. The foundation operates quietly, without publicity, embodying the principle that true change happens through actions, not announcements. Sarah's artistic talent has evolved in unexpected ways. Her latest series of paintings explores the concept of found family, depicting moments of connection between people who choose to be there for each other. One piece shows a rain-soaked alley transformed by golden light, while another captures the quiet comfort of movie nights with their expanded family. Her work speaks to both loss and hope, resonating deeply with viewers who have experienced their own journeys of healing. Alex's engineering studies have taken on new meaning as he develops technologies to help homeless youth. His current project involves creating a mobile app that helps connect homeless siblings with resources while keeping them together. The project combines his technical skills with his first-hand understanding of the challenges faced by children on the streets. Their relationship with Keanu has matured into a deep friendship based on mutual respect and shared values. During his visits, they often discuss ways to create sustainable change in the world. These conversations have shaped their approach to helping others, emphasizing the importance of dignity, privacy, and long-term solutions over quick fixes. The DVD case that once represented their last connection to their parents now sits in a place of honor in their shared apartment near the university. Around it, they built a wall of photos documenting their journey, moments with their new family, achievements, celebrations, and quiet times of healing. Each image tells part of their story, from the darkness of that rainy night to the light they've found since. Their experience has taught them that true transformation often happens in small moments. A kind word, a helping hand, an open heart. They've learned that while they can't erase the past, they can use their story to light the way for others walking similar paths. Through their journey, they've discovered that sometimes the most profound changes come not from grand gestures, but from simple acts of human kindness that ripple outward, touching lives in ways we may never fully know. In the end, their story isn't just about survival or rescue. It's about the extraordinary power of compassion to transform lives, the strength found in chosen family, and the hope that exists even in our darkest moments. Alex and Sarah continue to write new chapters in their story, guided by the belief that sometimes the greatest gift we can give is to help others find their way back to light, just as they were helped on that rainy night in Seattle. As their story reached more people through quiet word of mouth, Alex and Sarah found themselves becoming reluctant role models for other children in similar situations. They never sought attention, but their journey offered something precious to others facing seemingly hopeless circumstances, proof that transformation was possible and that help could arrive in unexpected forms. Their group home evolved into a sanctuary where healing happened naturally through daily routines, shared meals, and movie nights that echoed their own family traditions. The staff learned to recognize that recovery doesn't follow a predictable timeline. Some children needed more time to trust, to feel safe, to believe in possibilities again. Every success story, no matter how small, was celebrated as a victory for the entire community. Keanu's ongoing involvement provided stability and continuity in their lives. His visits remained private affairs, focused on genuine connection rather than celebrity. He taught them about handling influence responsibly, showing how real change often happens away from the spotlight. During these visits, they would sometimes watch The Matrix together, finding new meanings in its themes of awakening and transformation. The foundation they established with Keanu's help operated on principles drawn directly from their experience. It prioritized keeping siblings together, understanding that sometimes the only stability children have is each other. Medical care, education, and emotional support were provided as part of a comprehensive approach to healing. The foundation works silently but effectively, measuring success not in publicity, but in lives transformed. Sarah's artistic journey led her to create a series of murals in children's hospitals and homeless shelters. Each piece told a story of hope without words, offering comfort to those still finding their way through dark times. Her work became known for its ability to speak to both loss and possibility, reaching people at their most vulnerable moments with messages of resilience and renewal. Alex's engineering career took an unexpected turn as he developed technologies specifically designed for homeless youth. His innovations included secure communication systems for separated siblings and mobile applications, connecting young people with resources while protecting their privacy. Each project reflected his unique understanding of the challenges faced by children on the streets. Their Aunt Janet became an integral part of their support system. Her initial inability to help transformed into a fierce dedication to preventing other families from facing similar challenges. She worked with social services to develop better support systems for relatives willing to take in children, understanding that sometimes people need help to be able to help others. As they moved forward in their lives, Alex and Sarah never forgot the lessons learned during their darkest days. That family can be found in unexpected places, that kindness has the power to transform lives, and that sometimes the most profound changes begin with one person choosing to stop and help another in need. Their story continues to inspire others not through grand gestures or public acclaim, but through the quiet power of genuine compassion and the reminder that hope can survive even in the darkest of nights. Their journey from that rainy alley to their current life serves as a testament to the transformative power of human connection. They carry with them not just the memory of their parents' love, but also the knowledge that sometimes angels appear in unexpected forms, even as a kind-hearted actor walking down a rainy alley in Seattle, choosing to stop and listen when it mattered most. The Worn Matrix DVD case remains their touchstone, a reminder where they began and how far they've come. But now it represents something greater. The extraordinary chain of events that proved sometimes the most powerful stories aren't about superheroes in movies, but about real people choosing to make a difference in someone else's life, one act of kindness at a time. Years later, Alex and Sarah often reflect on how a single moment of compassion changed their entire world. Their story has become a quiet legend among social workers, medical professionals, and others who work with homeless youth. Not because of any publicity. They've always kept the details private, but because it demonstrates how genuine kindness can transform lives. The lessons they learned during their journey continue to shape their approach to helping others. They understand that transformation doesn't always announce itself with fanfare. Sometimes it arrives in quiet moments of connection, in someone choosing to stop and listen, in the simple act of treating another person with dignity and respect. Their bond with Keanu remains strong, built on mutual respect and shared values rather than celebrity. He taught them that true impact often happens away from the spotlight, in the small moments when one person reaches out to help another. Their regular movie nights now include discussions about philosophy, purpose, and the responsibility that comes with having the power to help others. The old Matrix DVD case sits in a special place in their home, surrounded by photos documenting their journey. Each image tells part of their story, from the desperate night in the rain to graduation ceremonies, art exhibitions, and quiet family dinners. Together, they form a testament to the power of human connection and the extraordinary ways that hope can persist even in the darkest times. As Alex and Sarah continue their work, he developing technologies to help homeless youth, she creating art that speaks to both loss and healing. They carry with them the understanding that sometimes the greatest gifts we receive come from our darkest moments. Their story reminds us that family isn't always defined by blood, that healing happens in its own time, and that sometimes the most profound changes begin with one person choosing to stop and help another in need. Their journey from that rainy alley continues to inspire others not through grand gestures or public recognition, but through the quiet reminder that hope can survive even in the coldest nights, that kindness has the power to transform lives, and that sometimes angels appear in the most unexpected forms, even as a familiar face in a dark alley, choosing to listen when the world seems to have turned away.